Welcome to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with intuitive lightworker, national speaker, metaphysical teacher, and best-selling author Lisa Kessler. What is it you want to manifest? Are you looking to increase your income, change careers? Maybe you want to manifest a new home or a new car. Are you ready to bring love into your life? You have come to the right place.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here today. Today, I want to talk about balance and how important it is when we're manifesting, because there is a difference between manifesting from flow versus force, right? It's all a beautiful balance. And when we first start manifesting, it usually becomes goals and action steps. That is the first, we feel like we have to do everything. And if we do everything right, we will get this outcome, right? It feels like a math problem. But the reality is when you are manifesting, you are co-creating. We do have a part to play, but so does the universe. And when you try to do it all yourself, it moves you out of balance. Too much force and not enough faith, not enough trusting that it's all going to work out for your highest good. Think of manifesting kind of like a dance, where sometimes you have the lead, sometimes the universe does, sometimes you need to follow. That is the balance that I'm talking about. That makes your manifesting this beautiful, trusting relationship between you and the universe. So I thought maybe it would be helpful to give you a few signs that maybe you are forcing instead of flowing, right? So if you start feeling anxious or impatient about when something is going to happen, it sometimes can even lead you to be angry at the universe. I've been there. Patience is not one of my greatest virtues. And there have been times where I'm like, how could this be taking so long? What's going on? Don't you know I need this thing? And you can feel angry. And when that happens, that might be a sign that you are trying to force your will on the universe. And really, when we allow things to work out, that is when our highest good is honored. Also, if you are constantly checking for signs and results, that is not trusting the universe, right? When we start constantly going, I need a sign, or I have people who will come to me for tarot readings and they'll want to know what date they're going to meet their perfect someone that they're trying to manifest a relationship. And the thing is, if we are constantly pulling a tarot card or, checking for signs or things like that, when we are so constantly doing that, you know what we're not doing? Is living our lives, right? I always remind people that tarot isn't supposed to tell you the future. If it did, none of us would need to live. We would pull a tarot card, it would tell us what to do, and we would do it, right? There is no joy. There is no spontaneity. So if you catch yourself constantly checking for signs and results, try really hard to breathe, get back into the flow, because you trying to force it to happen right now isn't going to bring about your highest good, the best outcome. You may notice that you're trying to force things to happen instead of allowing them to unfold. You might feel exhausted instead of inspired because forcing takes a lot more energy than allowing, right? So here's the difference when you are in the flow. Usually you'll feel very grounded and open. Opportunities will show up and you will trust that they are the right opportunity for you, and you won't even sweat over the risk. You will just say yes. You will feel peaceful even while you're waiting, because at your core, you know that everything is unfolding for your highest good, right? And you also start taking aligned action without being attached to the outcome. These are synchronicities that cross your path where you think, well, I'm not sure that this will advance my big dream, but I believe that it gets me a step closer, right? And we take that aligned action. So when you are in flow, you are actually working with the energy of manifestation instead of against it. Sometimes when we start micromanaging every step of our manifesting, we lose the miracles that could walk in because we're so busy forcing it, right? And that takes a lot more energy. If you think of a river, and if you are swimming upstream against the current of the river, you will exhaust yourself pretty rapidly. But when you surrender to the current of that water, you still move, but you are moving with ease. It is not taking all of your strength, right? Flow doesn't mean that you're not doing anything. It doesn't mean that you're just saying an affirmation and hoping for the best. But you're doing things that feel aligned, and you're releasing the controlling aspect of the outcome. You're doing it because it feels right, not because you are going to get XYZ. Does that make sense? It's like you are planting the seed and you are allowing it to grow instead of digging it up every day to see if there's roots sprouting out, right? Which I'm not going to lie, I get like that sometimes with plants. I'm like, are you growing? But you do have to have that trust that it's all happening. You don't have to see it with your eyes. When I'm working with my manifesting clients, there's always a time where we have to remember that things are unfolding for your highest good and you can't even see them yet. Our job is to set the intention, what we want and why we want it, and then we allow the universe to decide how it will show up and when for our highest good. And so, sometimes it's difficult to remember that there are already 10,000 steps that are happening for you, even though you have only taken one. Right? So keep that in mind. You don't have to check and see if the roots are sprouting. You know that they are. So what if you heard me earlier talking about what it feels like when you're forcing and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to find my balance. What? Here are a few things that you can try, because when you do feel yourself slipping into trying to force your outcome, it isn't helpful, right? It just wears you out. So my first recommendation is always just breathe. Pause and breathe. And I am a champion warrior. I'm not perfect with my manifesting. I know, but I'm not. And some days I get stuck in plan A, plan B, plan C. What if this doesn't work? And when I catch myself doing that, I usually reach for my tarot cards and I'm like, okay, how can I find peace? And all of the cards are like, get out of the way. The universe is trying to do the work. So sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away from it. Do something else. Fold laundry. Meditate. Just breathe. Take a few deep breaths and recognize, check in with your body. Am I tense? How can I relax those muscles in my shoulder? Right? And once you get out of that forcing mode and you've taken a little break from it, then reconnect with your gratitude. Gratitude is that high frequency vibration that brings us right back into trust and abundance. And I actually keep a gratitude box where I write down little blessings that happen, and I keep them in the box until New Year's Eve. And then I open them all and go, oh my gosh, what an amazing year I had. But when I am in one of those struggle moments, I will just reach in that box and pull out 4 or 5 slips of paper and then read them. And instantly I am reconnected with my gratitude. So it really does help to keep a gratitude journal or a gratitude box, whatever resonates with you, but have a way so that you can reconnect with gratitude right away. And sometimes it's remembering, right? When we get in that low vibration of fear, it's hard to remember all the times the universe had your back. So write them down so that when you are struggling, you can read it, right? And then try to shift from how to why. So instead of worrying about how it will happen, remind yourself why you want it, right? Because that is going to activate your heart chakra, and that passion is what keeps us from giving up. That's why when I do workshops and things, we always work on building up the passion for the dream, because that will carry you through any amount of rejections or, disappointments, because you want it so badly. So when you catch yourself trying to force things, stop worrying about how it will turn out and remind yourself why you want it. Feel it. And then you can always ask the universe for support. We always forget that our angels and our spirit guides, they are right there cheering us on. So just ask, show me the next aligned step, or ask for a sign. Not every day, but, ask. The support is always there. We just have to remember to ask for it. And I've had people go, well, why don't they just help if they're there for my highest good? The reason is because we have free will. And free will is our biggest magic, and our angels and spirit guides honor our free will. So that's why you ask. It's not because they don't love you. It's not because they don't know what you need. It's because we have that boundary. And our free will is our boundary. It is our power. And so all you have to do is ask, right? All right. And then finally, do something that brings you joy. When I shared earlier that when I get in plan A, plan B, plan C, what am I going to do? When I get in that and I have to walk away from my desk, I always go do something that brings me joy. For me, it might be singing. It might be playing with my dog. It might be watching a show on Netflix or reading a book. But do something that brings you joy, because joy is your highest vibration. Like gratitude, joy is magic. And when you are experiencing joy, you are calling in more things to be joyful about. That's why this balance is so important. If you are working, all work and no play, right? We tend to think that if we're not making money, we're wasting time. And that, my friends, is the road to burnout. Because play is so important. It is what brings us back into the vibration of joy and brings us back into our manifesting power. So make time to play. If you enjoy dancing, make time for dancing. If you enjoy puzzles, make time to puzzle. It is never wasted time to refill that creative well within yourself. It does not need to make money to have value. Okay, so be sure part of this balance about doing something that brings you joy, it should be playful. It doesn't have to bring something back to you. The joy is the payoff. All right. And finally, we've got to get better at trusting the timing, because sometimes the universe has delays or disappointments that we feel like, no, this should have worked out. I really wanted that job. But sometimes the universe is delaying because there is something even better that is aligning for you. We can't see it yet, but that is why this balance is so important, because it keeps you in trust instead of frustration. Over the years, I have gotten much better at this, of going, well, I guess I'm not supposed to be doing this thing, and letting that disappointment, just releasing it right there, because obviously it wasn't meant for me. And I have gotten better over the years. I can do it with anything. Like there's traffic and I think, well, I wasn't supposed to be there at this time. Okay. Or, maybe there was an accident and I'm being protected from it. Thank you. Instead of being frustrated, I am quickly accepting and knowing that the timing is working out for my highest good. And that has been a game changer for me. I hope that also helps you. But just know that divine course correction is sometimes your best friend, because we think we know what the best thing is, and then later down the road, something amazing happens and we never would have had the opportunity if we had taken that first one that we thought we wanted, right? So keep that in mind. Trust the timing. When you release, controlling every step, that is when you make space for miracles. And the right people, the right opportunities, the timing, everything lines up. And you think, oh my gosh, what? This is so much bigger and better than anything that I dreamed possible. So thank goodness you weren't micromanaging yourself into something small, right? Because the universe knows that there are no limits for us, only the limits we choose to accept. So, I guess to close this out, if you have been feeling stuck or maybe impatient, maybe your dream isn't happening fast enough, slow down and ask yourself, am I in the flow or am I trying to force my will? Because when you come back to your center, when you breathe, you're going to trust that what is meant for you, it's already on the way, even if you can't see it yet. And that, my friends, is peace. Oh my gosh, so much peace. When I get back to that spot where I remember everything is unfolding for my highest good, then I feel so much better. So this balance really is the bridge between your desire and its actual realization, which is usually even better than what we thought we wanted, right? And when you find that sweet spot of balance between work and play, between action and surrender, between setting your intentions and trusting the outcome, that is when your manifesting starts to feel magical. So I hope that this has helped, and I hope that when you really think on all of these tips that I've given you, you found a few nuggets that resonate with you. Because the other thing I want to mention is everyone is different. And some of these things I shared, you might be going, what? That is not for me. Then it's not. It's okay. Everyone isn't the same. I always tell people you should take what helps you and leave the rest, right? So I just hope that this is like a gentle reminder to release the struggle, because when you move back into the flow, that is your peace. Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. And so anyway, if you want to go deeper into your work, don't forget that you can join our online metaphysical manifesting community. I always trip over that. But anyway, you can always join us over there. We do a masterclass every month. We do live Zooms twice a week. There is a lot of support for you, and just being with people, like-minded people who are also trying to manifest change, can really boost your confidence, especially if you are in a struggle point, right? So you don't have to do this alone. So anyway, I am sending you the best vibes. I'm so glad that you were here today. And remember, stop fighting. Just flow, allow, surrender the outcome to the universe, because everything is unfolding for your highest good.
Thanks for listening to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with Lisa Kessler. If you have questions or comments, or if you'd like to work with Lisa to manifest your dreams, you can connect with her through her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net. That's also where you can claim your free weekly tarot reading and manifesting tips. Make sure you subscribe or follow the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast on your favorite podcasting site so you never miss another episode. As Lisa likes to say, we can make magic when we bring the universe into the equation. Remember, you don't have to do it alone. If you'd like more information about Lisa, Metaphysical Manifestation Mentorship, or the Manifesting Magic Mastermind, visit her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net.